We're good? All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday, May 15th, 2025 Architecture Review Board for Brentwood, City of Brentwood. We're going to get started right away. First, we'll do roll call. Vice Chair Carl Carlin here. Paul Turner here. Thank you. Move on to approval of minutes. I did review them earlier. I have no questions. Do you have any questions? I would move.
I'll go with your 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah. I'll move to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Old business, none, which brings us to new business. All right, that was quick. So those of you, we have a new member of the community here who hasn't seen a meeting. So the process is we will ask the applicant to explain their project to the room and to anyone online. We've seen the project, and we will have some questions, and we'll have some dialogue, and then we'll ask if anybody from the public would like to make any comments. We'll consider those, and then at some point, a motion will be made, and we'll take a vote to decide up or down whether the project moves forward. If it moves forward, you go see, again, our building official to get that, whatever we do, if we note something up, or if we do it as submitted, then that becomes the sort of binding document, goes to the city, to the other part of the city, and then that's what you build to. Any questions on any of that? So, all right, so 8705 Rosalie is the first project. I guess you're here. Let me share my screen and open up the project. Give me 1 second.
While you do that, for the record, William Rombach Homes. The address is 8705 Rosalie. Our business address is 263 Victor Lane, Catawissa 63015.
Thank you. All right, let me do the sharing of screen since I rudely got rid of the puck. So hold on. I think it's working. Can everybody see what I'm trying to share? Okay, fantastic. Thank you. All right, so anything you'd like to tell us about your project?
Sure. So this is a tear down on Rosalie, near the end of the block by the park. The home itself is on a street that does have some new development on it already. We have already torn down the existing home. It is 2-story. It is a detached rear entry garage that in conversations we did make an amendment to, which was submitted. That appears to be, so that's the existing home that was torn down. So in order to comply with some of the city regulations on driveway widths, we made some adjustments to the garage. The color scheme, we feel, I've got a design firm that does our colors with us. We're always willing to talk about anything. And I've not built a house in Brentwood in 16 years, so I'd love to hear some of your opinions on what you see.
And this is the color scheme detailed here in text and then also shown in a rendering, correct?
That is correct. And specifically, I will come out and immediately say the architectural shingles color Brandywine Dusk was a GAF color that's been discontinued. So I do have a replacement for that. It's the same color, but different names. So I don't know how specific we need to be on actual names of product.
I think we're okay, as long as you intend to keep it the same way.
Great.
So, go ahead.
Do you have the name of the new? Do you have the name of the new color?
I do, and I brought a
Let me
sample.
make
The
a
new
note.
color is Midnight Plum, and it's an Owens Corning product.
Now I have to make a note.
Oh, that's the shingles?
Yes, sir, the shingles.
Gotcha.
Night Plum, you said?
Midnight Plum,
But
until they discontinue it.
But it's the same color line as the rendering you're showing.
It is. Yes, it is. It was the 2023 color of the year. It's not a color going away.
Award winner. All right.
So 2023.
Okay. Thank you.
And to be clear, too, the front door is a Therma-Tru composite door. Walnut is the color. I don't know if you're specific on that being.
You
a
have it
building.
noted. Yeah, the
Okay,
color.
great.
It was mainly color.
I just wanted to make sure that
yeah.
that it wasn't somebody was going to say, "Hey, that door's not made out of walnut." In the end,
It's really color.
Okay,
and
great.
We're hoping that people aren't coming up and scratching samples off your door.
right. Some places they do.
Yeah. I hope they don't. Yeah. Okay. So the site. This is the existing house, correct?
That is correct.
And it's a 50-foot lot, I'm not mistaken?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so typical for us, we have a house that's set back a little farther than another house. So if we look at where you've set the new house, you've kind of set it along a diagonal if you want, between the two, which is kind of a typical approach and one we appreciate. I'm sure it meets zoning or I wouldn't be looking at it, right? It meets setbacks and all the rest, so. And again, you're replacing a home with a home and a garage with a garage. Is that,
That's correct. Now, there was conversation about the driveway. So this is the old site plan, and there was a revised site plan that was submitted.
okay, sorry, I'm not sure if I saw that.
That's okay.
I was just on the website. Hold on. Did it get uploaded? I'm sorry, am I looking in the wrong place?
It should, I'm sorry.
You guys know if it got uploaded? Okay, I mean, I just have, there's just the one on the website. I think that's the one I downloaded. I'll download it again, just to be. Is this different than the one I just showed? Is this, or
It is. This is the first.
This is the first,
and the
okay,
issue
that's
with
what's on the
first-
website, yeah.
Okay, so they said they uploaded it to the H drive. I'm not sure what that is.
I am not either.
Okay, so I have it.
Yeah, just tell me, maybe just talk us through the difference, and I
Sure.
could.
So
yeah.
the issue that was brought up with this is that the driveway between the house and the garage is wider than the width of the garage. So the driveway in Brentwood is it's restricted to the width of the garage plus, I believe, a foot, which this definitely exceeds that. But we needed that for turnaround. So my question was, it's difficult because you'll have to drive in, park. And then without that section, you'll actually have to back out all the way down to Rosalie. So the fix was to slide the garage to the left side of the property, yes, and then ultimately take the driveway all the way back to where the garage is now, 90-degree it, which doesn't totally fix our turnaround problem, but it's easier to turn around in that than this.
I think what I'm hearing is that the garage is here?
That is correct. And then picture your garage, or your driveway, traveling all the way to the back of the lot, and then 90-degreeing over.
Okay, and I appreciate you explaining it. It's not something we would necessarily vote on here, but it's something it's helpful to know, so.
Sure.
Was that gonna, well, that's a different question. I think there's a future change coming to that possibly with the guidelines, is that correct? Whitney's not here. Yeah, the width of the, yeah. Okay,
Yeah, I don't believe so.
all right, well, it's done, we're sticking with it. So, again, we won't review that here, but if you're submitting it to the city, then they will see it. And so it is a new garage, so we will review that. So.
Yep.
All right, so any questions on that? Yep.
If you're able to open your email, I did send you the new uploaded.
The new site,
plan.
okay. I'll be putting my email on TV, though. I don't think I want to do that. So I think we're good. Okay, so never know what people see in your email. All right, let's take a look at the house itself. So floor plans. Again, detached garage, which if Matt were here, he would take a moment to say thank you because that is a preferred way to approach it here in town. We do prefer that. Makes it, well, we prefer it. So these are the elevations of the house, correct?
That is correct, yes.
So again, it's 50-foot lots, so the house is relatively narrow to allow the driveway. As we see, questions we normally ask would be, are the windows and doors trimmed? Is there other trim features? Is there some variety, particularly in the gables? Here you have a shake and you have a vent. On the side again, another gable with the shake and the vent. Some trim board, which again we always appreciate. So I mean, most of the basic things that I would be looking for seem to be present. Paul, I'm not sure if you agree.
So the building, when I looked at it, was fine. I'd agree with that. The only question I have right now is that house already sits pretty high, but it looks like you're raising the new house by another 2 feet.
So on a two-story, the maximum height, I believe, is 35 feet.
Okay.
And depending on where you measure it from, we're right around 30 feet, 30, 31 feet building height. I will certainly keep it under the 35 feet as it's set when we shoot all of our grades.
Okay, so I do see that you have the neighboring house listed as 496 as well.
Oh, you're talking about, I'm sorry, you're talking
Yeah.
about the finished floor, not
I'm
the.
talking about the finished floor in relationship to the neighbors, but
Right, so we
I
should be
would
right
not-
between.
I would have thought that that was lower, or higher than the house that was adjacent. Interesting.
So I think the only question there would be that, also looking at roof heights.
And the site does slope up
Back,
as you go
correct.
back, so you are a little bit farther back than the existing house. So just a little, here's the existing house there, here's your new house, you're a little bit back of it, so you'd be rising on the site a little bit as a result.
Actually, the house is basically at the same oh, you're talking about the neighboring house.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying that the house that's there currently is forward in the lower elevation, right? So he's back farther, which we do appreciate. So back farther is gonna raise up the hill, is what I'm saying.
And higher elevation back farther.
Well, that's
gives a
what I'm
smaller
saying is,
perspective.
so, to give you some background, I did the house design before this one.
Okay,
For the prior owners. And, but I'm just trying to figure out how you have a similar number of steps shown on the porch, but you don't have any steps going down to the street. 48, 489, 489, 490.
so technically speaking, there probably is one step down to the driveway. Correct, because
Like
there
right
is
at the edge
that's
there.
where your grade break is.
Well, the plus side is that the garage is at the back. The problem we've had on this street before is that the presentation showed one thing, and then it came out, when it was built, it was about 4 foot of extra garage height. So,
I am not in the business of 4 foot of extra garage height.
well, no, yeah, what happened was this tall face.
Sure, understood. And it does help that the garage is detached because you don't have to flow the garage with the rest of the house. And the garage, we have to keep under 16 feet to the top of the gable. So that kind of limits part of itself. And the garage is partially retaining the back of the property because of grade. So we want to keep that.
So as we're talking about the garage, which is almost entirely, it'll be, I lost track of this property here. It's gonna be in this corner essentially, right?
I don't see that corner, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, I have to share something different. I didn't know you guys could not see that, sorry.
Oh, does it not show on the other side?
I don't actually see that picture. I'm seeing something different.
You don't see 8705 Rosalie up there?
I do, I don't see the site plan though to show.
Yeah,
which
no,
side.
I
Oh,
looked at
gotcha,
Googlers.
yeah, right.
It's probably not sharing it.
It's in actuality on the left side of
Whoa, look at
plan.
that.
The trippy,
I was saying, it's that kind of meeting. I like it.
Looked like we were,
you see it now. Yes, you can see it now.
oh, gotcha.
So that's the corner.
That is correct. Yep.
Right. So my point was that it's going to be virtually impossible to see it from the street. So that said, let's see if I can go back to sharing this thing. Nevertheless, the garage has been detailed. There's again trim that matches the house. The siding, I'm assuming, is matching the house.
It matches the house, correct.
Matches the house.
And the trim matches the house as well.
And the shingles match the house.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it has a nice garage door on it. This level of detail, would maintain that level of detail, and I think that's the goal. So just to go back to the front of the building, it's essentially the white trim, and then the colors as shown and listed, other than midnight plum.
Door colors noted? Not that it,
Oh, his garage door is that white?
Oh, on the garage door?
Yeah.
We typically do a front door matching garage door, so it would be in that walnut color.
Okay.
oh, okay.
All right. I will. How will I do that? I will figure it out. Hold on.
I may have put it on I thought I had that on the color on that page for the garage, but maybe not.
Back to the garage. Oh, yeah, you did. Sorry, thank you. We're good.
All right.
Okay, I don't have any questions really. I think
I'll move to
any,
approve
anybody
as
anybody from the
sorry.
either the audience or here or online. So let me see the participants. Where is that? Wrong window. Hold on. Share participants. One person. Anybody raising their hand? There's a little raise your hand click button if you'd like to speak. Got it. Okay, thank you. There's nobody, so I would entertain a motion.
Now I'll move to approve as noted.
I will second. Do the roll. Paul Turner.
Aye.
Carl Carlin, yes. You are approved to move on to the next step. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much.
Give me 1 second while I adjust. So the next item is 7 Cricket, but that's postponed to the next meeting. Is that correct? Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
that's correct.
Thank you. Then I will load up the 2632 Salem. Give me 1 second.
I'll probably have an old one.
Next on the agenda, 2632 Salem, a new single-family residential home. Please let us know who you are and tell us about your project.
I am Roger Betlek. I'm with the Course Properties, and we own this property. We've got this design here. It's a two-story house, about 2,400 and so square feet. And we got the stone as that wainscoting around the front. We got some Harvard slate is the lap siding. And then we've got the board and batten, that's the darker color. It's called ironstone. So on the rendering of the front, those are very close representations as you can get with the computer. A lot of white trim around the fascias and then the shadow boards. And then we've got these columns that match the porch ceiling. It's more of like a chocolate brown. And the carriage house front door, garage door. And I think those are some of the main things about the front of the house. We also have that garage with the extended roof across the garage door to kind of make that look more one-story-ish, to kind of blend in.
Thanks. So this is the site from above. I think I might stay out of Google Earth because this is pretty comprehensive. So again, this is Salem, and there we are. Actually, I can go to Google Earth because there's some images I wanted to show. Give me 1 second. For waiting. So again, here we are at Manchester, and then here's Salem. Near the pond, always a fun place. And the existing house is this lot. It's this lot here, correct? It's that.
I'm looking at,
You can't see my cursor. I apologize. It's that lot.
yes, sir. Yeah,
don't know why
I see the arrow.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you can't see the cursor.
No, I see now, the arrow.
Um,
So there's, yeah.
I think I
it's
keep forgetting
real close
that you
to the
can't.
pond there.
There, now you can hopefully see it. There, you can see. There you go. Now we're in business. It's this lot here, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tree's covering it up.
Thank you. Right. Okay. So anything else that you want to tell us before we have questions?
No, I think I'm welcome whatever questions and comments, so.
All right, so just to give a sense of the surrounding area, again, this is the property in question. What is this dated? Let's see. 3/2025, so it's pretty current. And I know you included properties around in your submission as
Yeah,
well.
that's across the street.
Directly across the
Yes.
street, right, yeah. And then down the street a little bit farther, there's some, what I'm looking to show is that although Salem, I think, has traditionally had a prevailing character of lower cottage-sized houses, over time, other sorts of houses have been built, both two-story and garage front in some cases. So just understanding the context that we're proposing to build in, I think, is part of the deal. You have any questions while I drive around, Paul?
Not at this point.
Okay. Don't want to keep talking. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's go back to the drawings. Whatever that is. All right, so again, in this package, you showed the same information I just presented. Subject property here, other homes that on that same side of the street, and then you also have other homes on the other side of the street, which this is the one facing, as you said, right? So again, a mix of two-story, a mix of garage front, a mix of one-story, newer, masonry, siding. There's a mix of a bunch of different things on the street. Subject property photos, and then this is the materials you're submitting, correct?
Correct. Yes.
So we've got the stone. You mentioned accent siding, roofing, trims, infill panel wood ceiling, which we won't see from the street, but thank you for providing it, and then the lap siding. And again, all of that adds up to this presentation here. All right, going back to the drawings. As far as the siding, I think, as said last time, in addition to the setbacks, there's also a notion that we should maintain relatively cohesive frontage on the street. The two houses being there and there with the line, you're sort of directly on that, so that's not really a question that I have. This is permeable, this is pervious coverage, so
Yeah, that's the impervious.
yeah, I appreciate it. We don't handle it here, but it's good to see it. Main floor plan. One of the things we do talk quite a bit about is when we do have garage front houses, we are aiming for the garage to not be the most prominent feature on the house to whatever degree that can be controlled. Again, the upcoming residential guidelines have a few things to say about that, but from what I know, this is not violating those rules at the moment. So
The new rules or current?
well, right, yeah. It comes down to this corner right here, generally speaking, where we don't want the garage to be proud,
I mean,
you know.
one of the things that we were discussing yesterday was the house that's directly across the street has the bedroom is above the garage all the way as it comes forward. So even though it's forward, that's listed as the front plane. So the discussion last night was this would be in front of the front plane of the house, which would be the back wall. So in this house, the front plane is defined by the bedroom upstairs. Right.
Talking about that double height
Right.
situation.
Whereas with the one we have, one issue that you run into is you have that blank wall behind the garage, and the garage is proud of the porch itself. I mean, so it could be mitigated by slipping it back somewhat. I mean, I think everything you've done is what we ask for trying to de-emphasize, but it's still proud of the house, and I don't know that I looked up that one directly across the street as far as when it was built, but the other one that's very similar to the one that's across the street was built, I believe, before the ARB was set up. Does anybody know when the
I
ARB
don't. I
was
know
set
the
up?
white one we just looked at must have been through our tenure. It's brand new, right?
Well, the other one looks brand new, but it was built in 2004, so 10 years, unless it's been around for 21 years.
We could look it up.
I'm just curious. But so, I mean, part of what I'm saying is I would like to see it go back a little further, which.
Or
I mean, it's not
conversely,
going to make or break me. I'm just trying to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd almost say that in this case, if there was a way to bring the porch forward a little bit further and then the house be back, what is it? Is that front porch or the garage on the 25-foot setback?
With the garage overhang in front of over the garage door to kind of de-emphasize the height, to marry that together with the porch roof, that's where we kind of got, a distance of how far we can travel with the depth of the porch and still get the egress windows in for the bedroom. So because of that overhang, that's probably about, I could look up the actual dimension, over the front garage door, to get that, yeah, there you go. To get that to marry in as it goes back and then turns over the porch. So I think we've got maybe, about a foot of the roof farther front.
All right, hold on. Let me go there. Where I lost it. Oh, it's over here. Got it. I found it. Hold on. We are at 1/4 inch.
So the front porch is 1 foot difference from the garage. And then there you can see where the hash lines are for the roof to kind of
Here.
blend that in.
We're about 6 inches, really, when you come to the roof edge.
So we're trying to put that roof line over the garage to kind of de-emphasize.
Do we have anybody online?
I was going to get through our comments first, and then yeah. So
I'd like to hear what people have to say one way or the other.
yeah.
because,
So
that's kind of my deciding factor. I mean, it's like,
So let's get through. I think we're almost done with our comments, and we can do that.
Right.
So, I think. I mean, I know you've been here before. So, the goal generally is, as you know, to keep the garage from being the overwhelming dominant feature of the house. We've generally appreciated when the porch, first of all exists, and then second of all comes close to. In this case, I agree with Paul that the guidelines in our kind of current future thinking is attempting to really minimize that entirely. In this case, if we're down to the 6 inches, I feel like that's within the bounds of what we're talking about, right? So that's good. There are some other questions that I had just relative to the context, knowing that, again, there's several two-story buildings on Salem, but that there is still a prevailing character of smaller homes, which, who knows how long that lasts? I have no idea, right?
Right.
We're always kind of looking for then what attempts have been made to kind of try to, it's not concealment as much as just, contextual effort to blend in with that datum line, let's say, right? So if you imagine that there's like a 1-story, datum line kind of running through the neighborhood, right? Kind of around where you've shown, a roof, which helps with that, I think, quite a bit, right? So we've had some questions recently, like actually just yesterday, in fact, about floor-to-floor heights and how those can be used to mitigate the appearance of height. So I wanted to go in and verify that I understood. You have, is that a 9-foot ceiling I'm looking at there,
On the first floor, yes, on the first
Yeah.
floor, correct.
and then an 8-foot ceiling on the second floor?
Yes.
Which is not, we've had some that are 10 and 9, we've had some that are, so I think 9 and 8 is not necessarily anything that leaves a lot to take out, right? So I don't know that we can lose any height that way. I appreciate that, you've used a relatively lower slope. We've seen some with taller slopes in similar situations. Also, you've hipped the roof at the ends, which kind of brings the mast down a little bit. You can imagine sunlight kind of flowing past these edges. So most of the things that we normally, I think, pursue in a situation like this, I think they're here. Do you agree, Paul?
I was just looking for a site plan at the moment.
No, sorry.
So, no, I agree that most, basically, everything's been addressed that we normally ask for, other than the garage, but I would like to try and, do we have, when I downloaded stuff, I didn't find
Yeah,
the
the site plan, it's on the first page of the,
first page.
of the main
drawing,
set.
ARP
Yeah.
set.
Sorry if I'm making people seasick. I tend to scroll around a lot. Sorry.
Oh, I see, mine, for some reason, are out of order. Page 1 is page 2. Okay, so finished floor, 487 for the neighbor. So this is about 3.5 feet above one neighbor and a little over a foot, so like a foot and 2 or 3 inches above the other neighbor. So is there a reason we're raising above both neighbors?
The yard is, well, there's a good picture. The yard is really not a swale necessarily, but it's pretty flat. And if we can raise the house up a little bit to get the watershed at the front to all move forward. Right now, it's kind of almost sitting down in a sort of a, not a bowl necessarily, but it's sitting low.
Yeah, but that's the existing house, not the proposed house.
And that's what I'm trying to say is, so if we can raise the house up a little bit, the new house, we can then shed water towards the street. Because right now it's sitting so low that we couldn't do that.
So just for understanding purposes, will there be like a rise then here, essentially? Can you see, yeah, will there be like a rise
A small rise there.
across that to get up
Yes.
to that? Okay.
Yes.
Because this house is it's on a retaining wall, so it's presumably higher. I mean, what does the drawing say?
And then you can kind of see in that picture where the house itself is kind of sitting low right there.
Certainly relative to the neighbor here.
But relative to the front street also.
Yeah, if I don't have an existing site plan, I would pull it up. But I take your word for it. It's hard to tell from this image. I mean, it clearly seems there's some kind of rise here, but it's hard to tell from
Yeah,
this
but the
image.
tree is coming out, so I just don't understand why it would end up being higher than both houses.
Because we're trying to move that water forward from the front of the house towards the street.
I'm not sure why there's 3 contour grades with the same elevation.
I'm going back to that drawing.
So that should be okay, 486 has a little ridge there. Okay, so you need to be above 486. What is it set at? 491. 2 feet above that is 488. I would think it needs to be at least brought down to comparable to the other neighbor at 490, 490.39.
Is this sometimes these rendered images are not accurate, so I'll ask before I make any assumptions. Is this drawing accurate? Because it does show like a significant sort of slope off over here, which might be part of what we're talking about, right? So
Yeah, that representation isn't necessarily going to be reflective of these topo lines.
that's so yeah. So
There is a bit of a grade that's going to go that direction.
but that's not so. I ask because I know that like again, this looks extreme, right? Like right now to
Right, the
to
way
what
it's
Paul is saying, like
illustrated
this looks
there.
significant, right? And so
Well, that's what the numbers are showing too. So, I mean,
so that is this drawing is then correct? Now the other one might not be, but you think this one is correct? I don't have I don't have overall numbers, so I can't.
I'm
quite-
trying to look at
Yeah.
the site plan also here.
Yeah. Because it does look like it's
I mean,
significantly raised.
this is
Yeah.
showing it actually is, I mean, if that's correct, then that is showing it coming out of the ground. I mean, what I'm reading on the drawing. So my point is that this is something that's easy to do, to start addressing a lot of the issues that are being brought up and have been brought up by the city residents. And so I think it's not unreasonable to ask. And it looks like this, has the water remediation been done? Is that on here? Is that what this is showing? It shows site data coverage.
There's not, because the impervious coverage is equal or less.
Requirements.
So we don't, okay, so there's the footprint of the original house. Are we over the 200% or 200 square feet? So there's going to be some water remediation because that is a
No, that's what that illustration was, that was the extra, that showed the
picture on the right
comparison
project.
between the impervious coverage presently and the new impervious, that illustration there.
But isn't
So the
this-
proposed is actually less.
They have all some kind of sundry paving back there.
So is that a, okay, so you're saying that is not a, so they have a raised concrete deck out there. That's not a wood deck, or is it a wood
There's a
deck?
bunch of pavers, there's all different types of material.
Okay, so it's got stepping stones. Yeah, I mean, do we have a picture of the back of the house?
Of the back of the
There-
post house? Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Let's take a look at that. So, okay,
Oh, you can see the existing house. There's on that,
The other drawing?
we on the
the actual
photographs.
photographs, yeah, of the house. Yeah, there's the back.
So it slopes down considerably.
I see. Yeah, no, it is, and it does have it has all those steps. Okay, and let's see, where's our diagram?
That,
Okay. All right.
So Paul, I mean, were you,
Well, it still has, I mean, my point is it's still raised out. I don't think it needs to be raised up that much. I mean, we're not doing a tuck under garage. Are you dropping your garage a couple steps inside? Let's see.
the rear elevation is the picture, the photograph.
No, I'm talking about your
Well, I think,
inside section.
so I think there's two things about the elevation of the house. I think relative to the neighbor to the left,
Yeah.
it'll help us again. We're sitting, I need to look at these topo lines better. It's got there's the 487 at the left side,
I'm wondering,
and then,
if this house here is at, 490.4, right? Is it possible to be at 490.4? Like, do we have to be more than the house? on
And
the-
that's
I
what
guess
I'm,
that's the-
I mean,
that's the
because,
question.
I mean, I just drove it an hour ago, and it is an upslope, and I have worked on that street a number of times.
okay.
So, I mean, there's plenty of upslope on the site.
So if we kept it at the same first floor,
I feel like that'd be a place to start, right? We could,
Yeah, I mean, it's just a simple
just to not have it be
change.
higher, because it's already a taller house than the two houses next door, and it'd just be better to bring it down, right? So,
I'm looking up here so I can read it better.
yeah, I can zoom in, sorry. This is 490.4 essentially, and this is, your point, math, oh no. Your 0.8, you're a foot above, right? So if we just matched it, would that be fine?
Yeah, that would be workable, sure. I think that'll still look good too.
Yeah, no, it should be fine.
I think it'll look good, and then, again, I'm trying to move water forward. I don't want to move it side or backwards.
Thank you.
So the change that you're saying, would it be at 490? Is that what it was, or?
I was matching it to the house
We're
next
fine
door.
with matching.
So
I
just
mean,
copied-
I mean,
pasted it,
my
yeah.
preference would be lower, but I'm not going to quibble over the 0.39.
Yeah,
That's, I mean, I think at that point, that's at least still a 4-inch drop across the site. And the thing is that trees coming out. I mean, if the tree was staying, you'd have more of a case to say you can't do it because you can't do anything in the front. But the tree is not staying.
Right.
I thought about the tree today when I drove by too.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's a,
It's a big tree.
yeah, it's nothing to be done, but it's a nice tree. Okay. Do you have any other questions, Paul? I don't. I think, again,
No,
I mentioned earlier.
I think, other than, but I would like to encourage you for the next one, because we may have those guidelines in place, at which point this one I don't think would meet what we were looking for.
I did have one more question. I apologize. And we're going to take it to the community as well. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, my other question was, I mean, when I look at the front, it's still, to me, I know that the plan doesn't work well with any windows on the front in that bedroom, but
That's how I'm thinking about it as well. Exactly.
I mean.
You knew I was going there.
It's like, a small round in the closet and
I
another
didn't
small
mean to do-
window
this
in
is
the
not what I
corner.
meant
I
to
mean,
do.
that's just,
It's,
oh,
it's
there you
still,
go.
it's still
You've
when
been
you see it,
drawn.
when you see it in real life, it doesn't look that blank.
it does sit back a little further.
It
yes,
does- it's-
But the blankness isn't really that prominent because it does sit back. It has a differentiation with the garage and that gable over the garage. So
there is a slight austerity to it, and that's a style choice. And again, we don't always want to legislate that.
I think the laundry or
I lost.
I
The,
think it was a closet at the front and then a laundry.
No,
at
that's-
the
this
front.
is a bedroom for sure. So give me 1 second.
Well, there's a wall there, right there with that corner, so
No, it's okay. I looked. Hold on.
there you go. Oh, did you do a little doodling?
Yeah. I apologize. And so the thought I had
Oh, it has a
was,
mechanical, oh, no.
The thought
Yeah,
I
it has
had
a
was,
mechanical room.
it's I was looking at it. I'm not the designer on the project, and so there's a limit to what I want to go into with that. You can't see what I did, but again, I'm probably making everybody seasick by doing this like I'm doing it. Give me 1 second. Upper floor plan is. Okay.
Trying to pull a mat here, aren't you?
Every day, I know what I'm doing. All right, so anyway, here's the bedroom, right? And then there's the closet, as mentioned. There's a window in the bedroom. This is the location we're talking about, right? So if basically there, right? So that would be like a window like there. So the question, and at the moment it's a question maybe to Paul and then maybe to yourself. It's not possible to do the balanced windows, as you said, there's a
Right.
closet in the way. So is there then a benefit to even the one window, which would at least allow some light into the bedroom, and it would break up the expansive siding on the front, which I do think, although it not impossibly austere, but there's a bit of an austerity to that moment in the front. So that's a question. I mean, was that something you would consider? Is that something you did consider?
well, again, with the balancing inside the bedroom with where that laundry room and that closet are, it seems like, and we've got two twin 3050s on the left side, facing to the north. So, I mean, I just personally don't like having that unbalanced look.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking for precedent in the you did have windows on two walls in the larger bedroom, so it wasn't out of the question, you know.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, and
yeah.
if we could balance it, I think that would be something to consider it, but I just don't like, and it doesn't have that prominent of a look with those two triangles up there, I'll call them.
Sure. Like, so it was a thought. I think it's not a requirement as of now for submissions. I have seen situations where, you know, the argument you're making that it's not as prominent in 3D. It's true, we don't see buildings in elevation, we see them in 3 dimensions. Sometimes it helps to see it that way to
Right.
explain it. So, all right, that was a question I had, but it's not an answered question. Is there anybody from the community or here that would like to address or ask questions on the project?
I just want to ask questions.
Can you come up to the microphone, please? Thank you. That's required, is it not? Yeah. So,
I live next door in the White
you
House.
state your name, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm Alice Holzer. I live at 2636 in the White House.
Thank you.
To the left or the right?
I'm the White
the
House
left or
to
the
the right.
Okay, gotcha.
Our properties sit very closer than they look there. It's not going to come over anymore, is it? On the Because it looks wider there. We're right on top of each other. Okay, how about the tree? Are these trees coming down like the tree in between the houses? Yes. And then the trees in the back, are those all coming down?
I don't know about all of them, but I know that tree, that right between there,
That one's
you
coming?
can't do construction and keep those.
Okay, and then I guess the fence line comes down first. That's your fence, not mine. Mine's only the front.
I would discuss any fences with you.
Well, no, I'm just trying to, I have two beagles, so I'll have to walk. I did a remodel a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So my other question, and this might be very silly, and I might be out of line asking it, but I knew Marlis that lived there from many, many years ago, and there's a beautiful red azalea bush in the front. Can I, if you guys are going to mow that away and throw it away, if I dug it up, can I have it?
Whenever I can dig it up for you, sure.
Oh, yeah, I would dig it up. I just didn't know if I would be able. It just reminds me of Marlis, and it's a beauty. I'd hate to see it get thrown away.
I agree.
I've lived in that house for over 20 years, so.
I agree. I mean,
I don't oppose, I was just curious.
That's okay, yeah.
Okay.
We thrive on questions, so it's good.
Like I said, the houses are closer than they appear in that. Like our air conditioners, if that air conditioner is going on, we're probably going to touch.
So, speaking of air conditioners, even though it's not in our purview, I think that you're going to get told that you can't have them in that 5-foot setback.
Yeah, on both of those, they would have to go to the back of the property. I'm sorry?
No,
You've got a 5
only
foot-
the city applies. The original plat doesn't apply.
Right.
Well, it
think you-
applies to your neighbors, meaning your neighbors require that.
But we have a 6-foot side yard.
Yes,
I
but
thought it
it,
was a 5-yard
but
side.
it encroaches on the 5 feet. So if you only have a 10 or 12 inch deep, if it's according to the graphics, that's not allowed. I'm just giving you a heads up.
Well, I went through this once before, and it was a 5-yard setback. And so then the air conditioners had to be moved to the backyard.
Right.
So this is a 6-foot.
6 foot, but that air conditioner is wider than a foot. I think is what Paul's saying too, is.
Yeah, you
so it
can't
would
go
encroach-
into
it would
the
encroach
5-foot setback.
into the setback,
Okay, so my understanding was different than what I'm hearing.
could be.
So you can't have an air conditioner closer than 5 foot to the side,
Correct.
It's a 5-foot setback.
to the air conditioner.
Yeah, so I think if you get over into the zone A where it's 10 foot, I don't think you can go in the 10 feet, can you?
No.
I mean, that's just the way
So
it's
I-
been written up.
My understanding was different from other house constructions that we've done. So now I got a different understanding. So we can move them to the backyard.
Okay, I'm not going to note it here because it's not.
No,
Right,
you don't
yeah,
need
that-
those
I mean,
there.
I'm
We'll-
just,
They'll just need to show that on the plans when you submit them.
Right, for the actual construction. I understand.
Right.
All right, are there any other attendees here in the room or online that would like to ask any questions? I don't see any other attendees online. No one here. Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion? I think did we mark anything up? I don't think
know
we
that
did.
did.
Yeah, let me see.
The first floor.
Oh, yeah, the first floor elevation.
We did, thank you. So we do.
All right,
So
So I'll move to approve as noted.
thank you. I'll second. Roll call, Paul Turner,
Yes.
Carl Carlin, yes. Thanks. You're all his.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for listening to us, too.
Yes, no, I appreciate it.
mean, we're not going to push on some of this, but we have been trying to encourage everybody to change over so that we don't have the proud front garage.
Right, and I
not-
understand, and I think when you see the garage with that gable and that roof coming out,
I've seen them
And the
before,
carriage.
and I mean, I would prefer if you had a bedroom up there.
oh, okay.
I mean, that would be the way
Leave
I
while
would
you
approach it.
can. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
So noted, thank you.
thanks, yeah, all right.
so
Thank you. Okay, public comments. If anybody either here or online would like to make any general comments relative to the business of the board, we entertain that now.
That's fine.
Seeing nobody, we will move on to building official directors' reports.
One thing we need to talk about is the meeting for June. We had 2 dates. I believe you've gotten those 2 dates. We're
Yeah, the
looking-
one was the Wednesday before. I don't remember what the other one was.
Yeah, the other one was, do you have those dates back?
It's the 18th.
18th
It's
and
the
20.
18th of June, which I believe is a Tuesday. and the
Following Tuesday, you mean?
24th of June. Sorry, let me double check on what day is what.
Yeah, you wrote down 18 or 24 here. 18 is a Wednesday.
18th is a Wednesday and the 24th is a Tuesday.
24th is a Tuesday.
So I would say no to the 24th.
And I would say no to the 18th. I'll be at summer camp with Boy Scouts. So we might need to check with Matt then to see which date we can work. I don't know. So luckily, Matt and I don't have children in the same troop anymore, so it's not a problem.
Yeah, so it'd be whatever. If Matt can make one or the other, then that'll be
That's the
kind
one
of the
that'll be.
determining factor. So
Yeah,
you'd
so I
have two.
apologize. I don't know right now what that would be.
So you're not good for the 18th,
I'm not good for the 18th.
and then you're not good for the 24th?
Correct.
Okay,
So Matt will be the deciding vote on that
gotcha.
one. So, anything else?
Yeah, and then I'd just like to say to the gentleman with the new house, when you turn in your plans, if you would supply us with a full set of paper plans, because you're going to do everything electronically, but for a new house, it just makes it a lot easier for us if we get just one set of paper plans. Okay.
And I've got room on both my side yards for the
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of houses that don't have a garage front and a 50-foot lot, so it's nice
Yeah.
to see. So thank you. Any other business? I don't think there is. So seeing none, I'm going to call for adjournment.